Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. The regular season begins at the end of October and the Warriors are in preseason training and games. The signing of Chris Paul is not yet unanimous and he could be exchanged during the season, after December 15th. Warriors are interested in trading for the giant Toronto Raptors player. NBA teams aren't typically sentimental when they acquire a player. They're thinking about what's best for the team. Sometimes, that can make for strange bedfellows. We've seen players join teams that, for a lot of fans of the league, it doesn't feel right to see them join. Just look at Chris Paul in a Golden State Warriors jersey. This doesn't feel right. Paul battled the Warriors as a member of the Los Angeles Clippers and the Houston Rockets. Now, he's crossed enemy lines. At the same time, the Warriors acquired him for a simple reason: it made sense. On the other hand, the Toronto Raptors didn't acquire Jakob Poeltl for the sake of reuniting with him. They acquired him because they needed a big man. With that in mind, they could move the talented big man if they decided to rebuild this season. Could they acquire Paul in the process? What would the Warriors trade sending Chris Paul to Toronto look like? Toronto Raptors receive Chris Paul, 2026 first-round pick, top 5 protected, GSW. Golden State Warriors receive C. Jakob Poeltl, F/C. Chris Boucher. We'll see how it works out. It's worth noting that Paul is quite old. He's also not necessarily the type of guard the Warriors have typically worked with. Paul prefers a slow pace and operates in the pick and roll. The Warriors typically run a fast, motion-heavy offense. What if this partnership is doomed to fail? If so, Poeltl should be a good fit in this team system. He's a plus positional passer and an outstanding defensive big. If the Warriors aren't happy with their record leading up to the deadline, flipping Paul for Poeltl could change their fortunes. Should the Raptors want Paul? The Raptors could use a point guard. They lost Fred VanVleet in free agency this summer. With that said, moving Jakob Poeltl to acquire an aging Paul wouldn't make sense if the Raptors are trying to make a win-now move. Luckily, that's not what they're doing here. The Raptors are rebuilding. They're less interested in Paul and more interested in his expiring contract. With that said, Paul's veteran mentorship could be useful for this young team.